Energy carbon footprint case introduction. Let's imagine that you want to see how much you can decrease carbon emissions by producing electricity from renewables. We are still considering the city with 1 million people in Poland. And as we have mentioned, we considered two options, so moving to wind or solar. Obviously, apart from the carbon which will be generated while using the power plant, we've got the carbon related to building the facilities. And we're wondering whether this will be not too big when it comes to wind and solar to make the total impact not worth our effort. And this is what we will try to analyze. We will consider three options. So the basic one is what we've got today. So we've got existing coal power plants. Therefore, we've got emissions due to burning the fuel to produce the electricity, but there's no carbon being generated by the fact that we built the facility. In option 2, we switch to solar. So we will have to build from scratch the power plants, or rather the solar farms. Therefore, there will be a big carbon emission in the first few years connected with the fact that we have to produce and install the facility. We'll also assume certain small carbon emission, mainly due to the fact that we will have to maintain the facility, so somebody has to go there, exchange certain elements. Option 3 will be exactly the same as option 2, with the only difference that we switch to wind and not solar. In the example, we will also do some backwards calculations, so we will have the overall impact of different types of power plants, and we will have to somehow calculate how much actually building the production facility will generate carbon. So that's in short. Let's move to Excel and see what kind of data we've got for this case study. So let's have a look at the data. Please open file attached to the lecture, which is called Energy Carbon Footprint version 5 empty. As always, in the master sheet, we have a table of content. Every option has a separate sheet. Let's go to the sheet solar, where I will explain you what you have to do. In this model, we look at 10 different years, where every column is a different year. And we have to first decide how big should be the power plant that we want to build. To do that, we will look at the energy produced, so how much we have to produce, to what extent the capacity is used, and hours of usage per year of a specific power plant. You can find data on that in the sheet parameters. So if we look at how much energy we have to consume, it's almost 10,000 gigawatts. The percentage of the capacity used, it's 60%. And so, for example, for the solar, you use this power plant for 2,000 hours per year. Now, we also want to know how much capacity we're going to install in each and every year. So this time around, we assume that we can do it slowly but surely. Our target capacity we've got from row 6. And then how much capacity we're going to install in a specific year. Again, we've got in the sheet parameters. For example, in row 8, we've got for year 1, it's 30%. Capacity installed will be the sum of all the capacity installed in each and every year. And by year 3, we should have all the capacity that we need. Thanks to this, we will get the energy produced. It will depend on installed capacity from row 15, again, percentage of capacity used, and hours that we use specific power plant. Now, as we have mentioned, we will want to calculate the total carbon generated, and this will consist of two elements. So firstly, carbon generated when building the plant, the power plant, and carbon from producing energy. Carbon related to the fact that we have to build the facilities will depend on two things. So capacity installed in a specific year from row 11 and assumed carbon per 1 megawatt hour of installed capacity that you can find in the sheet parameters. Now, apart from that, we will have carbon from producing energy. So in the case of the coal, we're burning fuel. In the case of wind and solar, we will have the maintenance of the power plant and maybe exchanging certain components. Again, this is assumed in row 23 per different type of energy production. So solar will be column J, when K and L is coal. And for the solar, as you can see, it's 100 of a ton, which is 10 kilograms of CO2 per every megawatt hour. So once you've got the total carbon generated, you can calculate also the average per 1 megawatt hour, which will be simply the total carbon generated divided by energy produced. Our goal will be obviously to find out whether in this 10-year period that we're looking at, the total carbon generated from solar and wind will be smaller than the coal. For the coal, we have already done the calculations. As you can see, we don't assume any new capacity, so we are just using the old one. Therefore, if we look at the row 23, we don't generate any carbon due to building new facilities because we just use the old one. However, obviously, the carbon from producing energy is huge. So that's in short. Have a look at that, fill in the solar and wind sheets, and also look at the comparison in the sheet summary. All the parameters that you need will be in the sheets parameter. As always, I recommend that you pause down the lecture, try to solve it on your own, and once you're done with the solution, move to the next lecture. We'll go through the solution together. I hope you managed to solve the case on your own. Now let's go through the solution together. Please open the file attached to the lecture, which is called Energy Carbon Footprint version 5, and we will go to the sheet solar. First, we start with defining what is the capacity that we need in terms of solar panel to produce the 9.6 thousand gigawatt hours every year. So given the capacity of 60% and assuming 2000 hours of work per year, we need 8000 megawatts, so 8 gigawatt of capacity every year. As we have mentioned, we're gonna build them slowly. So the first year it's 2.4 thousand, then 3.2 thousand, and then another 2.4 thousand in year 3. In row 15, we see the cumulative capacity installed. So by year 3, we should have the target of 8000. This means obviously that the energy production will gradually grow to the 9.6 thousand gigawatt hours. Now, in row 23, we estimate the carbon generated while building the solar farms. So this will depend on the capacity installed in a specific year, which we get from row 11, and then carbon per 1 megawatt hour of installed capacity, which is 936 ton of CO2 per 1 megawatt of hour. So this means that in the first year, we will generate 2.2 million CO2, then almost 3 million, and then again 2.2 million in year 3. The second component is the carbon generated from producing energy, and due to the fact that we are using solar energy here, this will be pretty low. It will reach its peak by year 3, and this will be 96,000 tons of CO2. The total carbon generated we can see in row 31, and mainly this is the carbon generated during the creation of the facilities. Finally, we can calculate in row 35 the carbon per 1 megawatt hour of energy produced. Obviously, this is higher in the first 3 years because we are building the facilities. Now, when it comes to wind, we do exactly the same calculations. Capacity will be a bit different, so it's lower because we will have a bit higher usage of this facility. So it will be 5.3 thousand megawatt hours. And again, we're going to build it gradually over the 3 years. In the first year, 1.6 thousand, then 2.1 thousand, and then 1.6 thousand again in year 3. As in the previous example, by year 3, we're going to reach the target production of energy. Now, when it comes to carbon due to the creation of the facilities, so the wind farms, it will be below 800,000 tons in year 1 and 3 and around 1 million tons in year 2. As in the case of the solar, we assume certain very low carbon from producing the energy. At the peak, it will be 48,000 tons of CO2 per year. And again, we can calculate the total carbon generated and carbon generated per 1 megawatt hour of energy produced. Now we can move to comparing those options, and we do that in the sheet summary. We will mainly look at the total carbon generated. So as you can see, despite the fact that the coal plants are built, so we just experience the carbon generation due to the burning of coal, the option where we use the current coal power plant will generate 10 or even 20 times more CO2 than the other options. The most interesting from the perspective of carbon generation seem to be the wind option, so option 3, because this will be in total just 3 million tons of CO2. Obviously, in practice, you have a mix of solar and wind, and on top of that, some storage. However, this shows you that even if we take into account the carbon that we have to create while building the solar or wind farms, switching to renewables still makes sense because it drastically reduces the carbon that we generate every year.